Hello and welcome to Mike's Garage. If you've already subscribed to our channel, thank you very much. If you haven't, please do. And when you do, be sure and tap on the little button for the notification bell so you'll be notified every time we put up a new video. It's kind of important for me to remember that, and I hope you do it. So thank you. And by the way, if you like us too, it doesn't hurt. We appreciate that too. Thank you very much. Okay, what do I want to talk about? I got a few things to mention. First off, to anyone who was able to get to the Chopper Fest was grand. We had a great time there. And we did a couple of interviews. We showed our friend Slim's newest creation. That was pretty fun. And we did a video on that. And we interviewed Ben Kudom from American American Prime Manufacturing. And we got to look at some neat stuff there and met a lot of people that came to his booth. We just had a really wonderful time with a lot of people, and I was really pleased. I was afraid that attendance wouldn't be as good as it should have been because that was Super Bowl Sunday. But people were there. People came out and had a wonderful day. It was just grand. And of course, being in Ventura, the weather was beautiful. So there at the beach, it was really nice. Anyway, if you're watching this, I might have seen you at Chopper Fest too. Actually, what I wanted to do was do a couple things here with my bike. Weather having been what it's been, it has rained here in Southern California kind of on and off for a couple of weeks now. Every once in a while we get a hole in it. And every time there's a hole in the rain weather, then it gets freezing cold. So I haven't done a whole heck of a lot. But finally I got around to it, and I put my shovel on the lift, and I went over a bunch of little things that just needed tightening and a little attention here and there. And last time I went out with the guys, they complained about my brake light. Mike, your brake light's not working. What they don't realize is I'm not really big on using brakes. I mean, it's just not, you guys are always clamping on your brakes. I find with a Harley, if you quit giving it gas, it'll stop. Anyway, so my brake light has not been that good. So what that means to me is my brake light switch is probably not good. And when I decided to do it, everybody was closed. So I went to the local parts house, the auto parts store, and I got a Volkswagen brake light switch, which is pretty much the same as the one Harley uses. It's just an 1/8-inch pipe thread on it and 2 contacts, push-on fittings. And anyway, I don't know what the one is that's on there. I got it somewhere and put it on there. And like I said, Volkswagen is pretty much the same thing. When I say Volkswagen, I mean the old Beetles. You know, the regular old Beetles use these. Anyway, so I want to put the switch on. Last time I put a brake light switch on the YouTube channel, a lot of people learned a few things from it, and a lot of people insulted me on it and said, oh, that was a bad way to do that. I thought it was okay, but hey, what do I know? Truth of the matter is, what I did was I apply the brake, which I'm doing here with this bungee cord, and I can actually make it a little bit tighter. Let me get a goodie here to tighten that up a little bit. And by pulling the brake pedal down a little bit, in other words, you're putting just a little bit of pressure on it, it won't leak out much, if any, when you take the switch out. And you don't need to do it. It's just the way I've done it for a long time, and I lose very little, if any, fluid. So that being said, I already put this bungee cord on here. And for anyone who's interested, these are forward controls that people usually ask me about, but they're forward controls that almost all of the aftermarket suppliers that have been in business for a long time, because these have been around for a long time, they almost all carry them. They're probably the least expensive set, and I don't know how much that means in today's money. I really don't. I've had these for a long time. But they're steel, and I like them because they're steel. They're steel and they're chromed. And to be honest with you, I have wrecked them and bent them and straightened them, and they're still surviving after years and years of use and abuse, I'm afraid, because like I said, I kind of stacked this whole thing up at one time. But, and then the extension here, they're just Kuryakin extensions and Kuryakin pegs that I put on them. And I'm very bow-legged, and these stick out a lot further than most people would probably want theirs to, but boy, are they comfortable for me. Each bike should be set up for the person who's going to ride it. And this thing is certainly set up for me. After 45 years together, we've learned how to get along, you know.
Yeah, you look great on it, too.
Ah, gee, that's what I needed to hear. Thank you. Okay, now, yeah, we're friends. We're tight. Okay, so let me get in here. First thing I want to do, actually, I didn't bother to disconnect the battery because these Brakelight wires on this motorcycle don't get any electricity unless the bike is turned on. Okay? That being said, we'll just take those off like that. And I think what I like to do is have the new switch all ready to go before I take out the old one. So let's get us a little bit of Teflon tape on there. Get a couple of wraps on there. Kind of like that. Make sure you get it in the right direction so the tail is trailing as you turn it in, threading it to the right. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, and all that good stuff. Okay. So, getting in there and getting that off is kind of a little bit of a madness. Let's see. Now, I can put that on the fitting. I've got a 9/16 wrench on the fitting because I really don't want to break anything loose here. You know, I think I'm going to do this long wrench because it's like, I think it's a 1-inch on, no, it's only a 7/8 maybe. Is that a 7/8? Yep. Okay. So if I get that 9/16 on the fitting, the reason for that being I don't want to put any stress on the brake lines. Let's see, let's get that on there. There it is. And then this one being a 7/8. Okay, now I should be able to go like that. Pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, some of these things are hard to get at. You know, and sometimes it's easier to use a socket. But in reality, you really need to hold that fitting so you don't put any stress on the lines. So I'm going to get that off of there. Actually, there isn't that much stress now because it's getting loose. And we can take it right off of there. Well, getting the breather hose in the way. Let's see, while I do this, I wanted to mention, and I didn't do it yet, and I'm sure they're watching to see, we met some really nice people from Canada at Born Free last year, and they've been writing to me, which has been kind of nice. We've had some nice communications back and forth, and I think it's in May. They have a big swap meet coming up there, and I want to be sure and tell everybody about it. Which is something else I wanted to mention, which is quite simple, but important. Unless it gets too complicated and we get too much of them, if you write in with your events that you're putting on, I'm more than happy to tell people about them. You know, I mean, things that I show and things that I tell, I'm not making money off of. I'm just, I like to promote motorcycling, and I like to promote all of the wonderful friendships that we've made through motorcycling. Mm-hmm. So, you know, if you say, hey, we're putting on a swap meet, you know, I used to get a whole lot of people write in and say, yeah, well, you got a lot of swap meets out there. I wish we did. And I'd get kind of angry by that. From that, and I'd say, you know, if you want a swap meet, put one on. You know, find somebody who will let you use their parking lot, which is probably the local motorcycle shop, something like that.
Churches?
Well, it's kind of fun. Well, you know, that brings up a whole other thing. Yeah, that brings up charity, which I'd like to talk about that on another time. But right now, I'm just talking about swap meets. Okay. Well, that is coming out more than I wanted it to, so. Okay, the new one is in there now. Did you get that?
Kinda. Your hand's in the way.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to use my hands. Didn't mean to use my hands. Okay. Seems to me this one is 1 inch. Also seems to me I can go in there from this end, like this. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, I'm more than happy to announce events. And again, if you really want to have a swap meet, you know, it's not that hard to do. It really isn't. And you make it so much fun. Well, they aren't that much fun. Well, you know, I haven't been to too many towns where there weren't a few garage bands around. And there are garage bands that will play for you, that will be honored to play for you. That's what we do for our friends. Mm-hmm. And I think just a little bit of just kind of making it happen will really, that's pretty cool the way that worked, isn't it? Now we'll see if we can tighten it up from here. This is a real nice collector's item, this wrench. This is an ancient plum that was, I'm sure, one of my dad's. Okay, and I think we got that just about tight enough. That's pretty good. So, that being said about swap meets and social events, you know, that's well, gee, it's on. And it's hooked up.
You didn't waste much time, did you?
No, that was a little too easy even for me. But
you're going to have to talk about more stuff now.
No, I'm not. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this master cylinder. And I do have some .5 brake fluid to pour in. And we already showed this forward control. Let's see what's in here. It's probably low on fluid. I think I just spit a bunch of it out. No, it's not low at all. But let's see if there's any air going to come up from it. Boy, that just pumped right up. Very, very little air. But what we can do oh, that's really nice. Mm-hmm. I think what we can do is get this I think I can what was I going to say? Excuse me. I want to get to the caliper so I can bleed the brake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift my saddlebag. And, okay. Then I can bleed that brake from the caliper.
That's where I'm standing over here.
I'm really glad you did. Well, you know. Well, that's the most dangerous part about bungee cords.
Because the camera's on.
Huh?
It's because the camera's on.
Yeah. Is that going to hold up there out of my way? No, it's not, is it? Well.
Drag over the seat.
In a minute.
I'm going to stay over here.
I'm not able to hook onto anything here that I usually am. I think I need a different bungee cord.
Everybody likes that jack, huh?
Well, we'll see that in a minute here. Okay? There we go. Now that'll work. That's what I wanted. That's much better. Okay? What I really wanted to do, I just wanted to bleed this brake. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to pump it up a little bit. And then we're going to open that bleeder screw and close it back up again. And I swear it'll be fine. Yep, there went the bubble. It's right there. We are good. You know, it's kind of funny. These things will just about bleed themselves once they're started. You know, it's getting it started. It's when they have air in them and you got to get it out. This is a good time to show this brake. I've shown it before, but it's been a long time ago. This is an early swing arm. In other words, 58 to 72, big twin Harley swing arm. This is the round swing arm. I think they're a lot stronger than the square swing arm this thing came with, so I like to use the early swing arm. And this is a 2008 Dresser rear brake. That's an 11.9-inch rotor and a great big 4-puck caliper. And it really stops this thing. I really enjoy it. But this bracket here, I designed and made myself. It's made out of a chunk of aluminum. I bought a piece of aluminum, made a bracket, and there it is. Cut it out on my buddy's bandsaw and finished it by hand. And it really works. I did make some mistakes in doing this. I originally made the bike too low and damaged my fender here on the caliper. Kind of a real goofball mistake, but that's what I did. Also, that wheel, a lot of people look at it and say, oh, you got a fat boy wheel. No, it's not a fat boy wheel. It's not a cast wheel. That is a spun aluminum centerline wheel. Polished spun aluminum centerline wheel. Anyway, so this is all done now, and it works just fine. Let me make sure that, yep, it's good. I can drip just a little bit more in there and put the lid back on it. And that takes care of about any of the things I have to do on this video today, except say you really need one of our t-shirts, and there they are. And the way to get a t-shirt is go to our website, which is pacificmike.com. In the upper right-hand corner, it will say t-shirt store. Click on that, and that's the way you get a t-shirt. Oh, and our baseball caps, the Pacific Mike baseball caps. Well, they've been going pretty good lately, too, so.
Oh, good.
Yeah, well, they're a real quality piece. That's all embroidered on there, and, you know, we tried to, everything we did with the shirts is we did real quality stuff, so people would enjoy it and want to wear it. So, anyway, I think that about does it for now. And till next time, we'll see you out on the road.